I feel so honored to be here with people like me who like money. Because I believe if you are a young entrepreneur, if you are a young creative, I believe you like money just as I do. But my own is I am professionally engaged in money. So it's such an honor to be here, and I feel so happy. When Ella invited me, I was supposed to travel today so that I will be here with everyone to share some ideas. I do not believe in modesty when it comes to making money. I do not believe that you have to come so low while advertising yourself, because we were given a platform to express about what we do when we came in here, and I saw some people were like, I do this, I do that. They were not so vocal about what they do. So I think it's very important in a platform like this, when you come in and you're given an opportunity to explain yourself, what you do, just go ahead and sell your market, because you are the number one marketer in your business. While I was traveling to Port Harcourt the other, I think last year, I met a lady on a plane, and we were talking. I asked her, what do you do? She said, she's just a caterer. I was like, what do you mean by just a caterer? What do you do? So I pushed her, started talking about what she does and the kind of clients she has. But I was worried while I was in Port Harcourt. I was like, why would this lady just tell me that she's just a caterer? Me, I'm not modest though. I'm not modest about that. If you call me, I'll tell you I'm a professional accountant, I'm a consultant. I will break it down for you, the things I do. I founded the company Calculate, and when I founded this firm, actually, my friend asked me that the name is so definite, Calculate. Why did you choose such a name? I told him it was for a reason, and the reason was that my target market actually are SMEs, young business owners. And I've seen how so many of them are so afraid of the word calculate. So when you mention figures, when you mention calculation, they try to tell you, oh, I'm not a professional. Like those who don't have background in accounting and finance. So I said I chose this name because I want to be pursuing SME, so they will learn how to calculate and at least keep their books in order. So I was going to talk about navigating, financial navigation for young entrepreneurs, which is a very beautiful topic for me to talk. I've been talking about it for some years. Even in my current organization, I talk about it because I know how important it is. You cannot be a successful young business owner if you don't understand the basic of bookkeeping. Most of us young business owners are so driven to talk about finance, I need more funds, I need more loans, I need to expand, I need money. But the little money you are making, what are you doing with it? The little money you are making, are you actually accounting for it? Are you keeping the books? I have a friend, a few years ago, he was asked to manage his father. His father asked him to manage one of their businesses. He was so young. He was in his final year in school then. He was studying microbiology. So, but before then, while he was in school, he was also part of the business. He would visit after close of school, and he was already acting general manager while he was in his final year. So as soon as he was done, he was asked to take over. He got into the business and ran the business for some months. After some months, he realized that he needed some money to expand because he was so young and he has a lot of vision, aspirations for the business to expand. He needed some money. He went back to his father, who was already retiring, was also rich, and asked him that he needed a certain amount of money to run his business. His father told him that he didn't have any money to give him. He came back and was angry, and I cannot forget that he was ranting on the phone on my ear. And he was telling me, it doesn't mean that my father does not want me to succeed in this business he handed over to me. I've run this business for 3 months. Does it mean that he doesn't want me to succeed? What am I going to do? I told him to relax. I asked him one question. Do you really have passion for this business, or you are doing it because the father wants you to do it? He said, I have passion for it. If I don't have passion for it, I'm just another career path. I said, beautiful, fine. You have answered the question rightly. I asked him, we're talking around June. So I asked him in May. I asked him, what was your sales in May? He thought for just a few seconds and called a figure for me. I said, beautiful. I asked him, what was your profit in May? He said, Chooks, I've told you now, he called the same amount he had called earlier as the sales. I knew that there was a problem. He didn't really understand his books. He has not really gotten hold of what the business performance is in terms of his current financial state. And that needs to be fixed before he starts looking for money, wherever he wants to look for it. So I asked him, we have to schedule a meeting. I started putting him through, and it's going to be quite interactive now. So you are going to be my friend, like I have my friend. So we're going to talk about these things one after the other. So, like I said, as a young entrepreneur, it's very important to know these things. Most of us do not have the capacity to pay core professionals like me. It's not right, sorry. But we don't have that capacity to pay. So you need to, and it's not even just about hiring a professional. Because even if you hire a professional, I am working with a relatively big retail firm that has branches across Nigeria, and I'm the head of finance. Even when I'm done with my reporting for monthly report, I still submit it to the CEO. So imagine if the CEO doesn't understand the basics of finance and accounting. Well, how will he interpret it? I will spend the whole month explaining everything I've done, and it's going to take me time. So you need to understand. The way you pay attention to marketing is the same way you need to pay attention to your finance. So you are my friends. I told him first of all, he's going to start keeping tabs of the inflows and the outflows that are going on in the business. That is the first step. He told me that, oh, there's an admin person that does that and the admin person gives stuff. I said, you need to. Your expenditure approval has to be done by you. You need to be fully involved in your company finance. He said, okay, how will he do it? I said, just get a laptop or get anything. Let's start. So I told him, there is an Excel sheet that is like this. You need to start entering figures on those sheets. Let's start with your sales. You need to know your business is not much, so it's very easy to know who is buying from you. It's just very easy. So you have to keep tabs of how your sales are coming into the business. So I told him, okay, let's start. For this sheet, we'll call it your sales sheet. On your sales sheet, we can label it by day 1, or 1st of July. This marker is not marker. On 1st of July, 2023, how did the sales come in? 1. And he also had his costs. So it's not like he was running like a service kind of company. He was selling goods. So I told him, you have to keep tabs of this on an Excel. Because sincerely, I'm not so good with manual. I'm not so good with manual bookkeeping. So I told him you have to start with Excel. Excel is very simple, especially the basic part of Excel. So the name of the customer, whatever data you want to keep, if you can, the phone number, the emails, you can keep that. I told him you need to know the cost, the total cost of everything. You already have your invoices. That one can give you the breakdown of everything. But on this Excel, you need to have the summary of whatever the customer is buying. So you need to have your cost, and then you need to have your selling price. Okay? You need to have your cost, you need to have your selling price, and the next one will be your gross profit. So your selling price minus your cost will give you your gross profit. Please, can someone give me an amount here for a cost? 200. Okay, let me use this one. So can someone give me a selling price? That means our gross profit is what? This is a sample of what we did. And we started keeping tabs of everything, every single day. By the close of the day, it sums up this, and sums up this. So he was keeping those records every single day. I asked him, what are the expenses that you incur in your business? Please, we are all businesses. Can someone help me with some expenses we incur?
Rent.
What?
Rent. Production. That's utility.
Utility. Recharge card. Okay. Logistics. Transportation. Any other? Any other one? There is a problem with miscellaneous. You will have to fight with tax people if they come for you. So it's very important you break down your expenses. Break it down to the simplest form you can understand. It's very good. Even the logistics is big. You can break it down. What do you do with it? Is it for marketing? Is it for just break it down and have it away. And then you have to post all these things every single day, just like you do for your revenue. So my friend started keeping tabs of all of these things, started posting them. So for the very first month, it was very challenging for him. But from the second month, it was easier. The third month, it was easier for him. So what he did was, for every day, he will have what his gross profit is. I think that this is your gross profit. When you add up all of them, it's very important you keep your books. You close out your books every month. Every single month. So I thought if you add up all these, your gross profits, okay? Add up all your expenses for the month and remove your expenses from your gross profit. And that will give you net profit. And this net profit is is the basis for your business decision. It's not really your sales, it's not really your gross profit. The basis for your business decision is your net profit. So my friend prepared all these things, and with the help of his admin, and for 3 months. So when he brought the report, I did some adjustments, and I asked him to run it again for the next 3 months. He ran it for the next 3 months, and came back with a 6 month report. He has never had a 6 month profit and loss report in his business. He came back with it. I asked him, what did you observe? He said, he noticed that in July, the sales were high, but the expenses were also high, so the net profit was kind of less. And then in August, the sales was even higher than that of July, but the expenses were also way higher than the previous months. And then he also got his net profit. And then the third month, everything. So he was already explaining what is going on in his business without me even advising him. I made a joke. I told him, you're already a financial analyst. He laughed. This is somebody that has been running away from calculation, keeping tabs, and all that. So when he was done, I told him, you are going to take this 6 months report back to your father to go and ask for funding for your business, for you to do whatever plans you need for the business. He said, okay. I told him, in addition to this 6 months report, you've already understood what the 6 months is, which means you should be able to project the next 6 months of how your profit and loss account will look, all things being equal. So if you're making 1 million naira in June, so if you're making 1 million naira, if you make 1 million naira in June, by the end of June as sales, and then you kept out of all your expenses and you're seeing a net profit of about 100,000 naira, it means that you as the business owner, you know what you can do to increase sales to 2 million in July or 1.5 in July. You being involved in your expenses means that you know how to cut down some expenses. It means that if you make more expenses and increase your sales, your net profit will go up. So he said yes. So I gave him a template. I told him, okay, just use a certain percentage. There is something we call in budgeting and forecast. There is a most common forecasting method you can use, which is a rolling budget. So a rolling budget is when you are having a sales of 1 million, use a percentage to measure what you can make in the next month. So that percentage, you just apply it on the already existing sales, so that you know the current sales actually, so you know what you will make in the next month. So he ran it and he brought it to me. I did some review, I edited, and he got it. So he now has 2 reports, a focus of the next 6 months and the actual performance of the business the previous 6 months. So he came out with, I asked you, you're going to go back to your father. He needs 2 reports. He went back to his father and started presenting. This is what I made in May. This is what I made in June. These are the expenses. I know if I need more money, if I buy more goods, I'm going to make this in. We're just presenting. And when he was done, his father laughed and told him that he would issue him a check the next day. He will issue him a check the next day. What happened was that the father now has confidence in him that he has understood the financial aspect of the business. Why am I saying this is because we have quite a lot of young business owners who are always looking out for funds, but they don't understand the current performance of their businesses. So how will you even know how much you need to expand? How will you know how much you need to buy more goods? How will you know how much you're going to spend in marketing when you don't know how much you spent in marketing for last month? Do you even measure the impact of your expenditures in your businesses, or you're just running expenditures anyhow? So this is very, very, very important. I have limited time. I would have gone deeply into finance, but I believe this is the foundation for every business owner. Don't run away from calculation. Don't run away from understanding the financial. You should be able to have it at the back of your head. If somebody asks you, maybe you're speaking with someone, an intended partner, or you should have it. You should have it in your head. So I meant this. It's not what somebody will be preparing for you, and you should be able to understand these things. So I will also give some tips before I round up to help you in your bookkeeping and accounting. First of all, you need to understand that your business is different from your own self. There is something we call entity concept in accounting. It's part of an accounting meeting. I think it's number one. It's the number one. I don't know if you have accounting graduates. It's the number one concept in accounting. Before they start talking about every other materiality and every other concept, it's the number one entity concept. You need to have at the back of your mind that your business is entirely different from you. For people who have limited liability, your business can be sued. You can sue separately. Your business can be sued separately. So it's an entity on its own. And that means that the finances have to be accounted for differently. How do you do that? For young business owners, please pay yourself salary. Cultivate the habit of paying yourself salary. You are the number one employee in your business. Pay yourself salary. Use your salary and sort out your personal needs. But keep the business money for the business. Also, we have quite a lot of young business owners who do not really have financial discipline. Your business will from, I'm sorry, don't give me credit. If you don't have financial discipline, because you are making most of the decisions, marketing, finance, in that business, you don't have the capacity yet to hire professionals. So you are the one making that decision, investment decision, and all those kind of decision expenses. So you need to have strong financial discipline. Spend where the necessary. You also need to cultivate the importance of financial planning. There are simple ways to do budget, like I've explained. You spend 200,000 in marketing in May. How much will I spend? Knowing very well that I'm expecting a certain amount of money as sales the next month. These are planning you do. There's something about planning. There's something about budgeting actually. There could be there is what we call budget surplus and we call budget deficit. So it's either it's higher or lower. But the thing is, for the fact that you have a plan, you will be able to understand why your projection or your budget or your planning is higher. You'll also be able to understand why it is lower. That's the importance of planning. But if you're running a business and you're just doing anyhow with your finance, you won't be able to explain all this. You won't be able to track all of these things. I also tell young entrepreneurs, debt loan is very important. It can be very important. It can make your business, it can also mar your business, depending on how you manage it. If you cannot manage, I've done an illustration. If you cannot manage the net profit of 200,000 you're making, if someone gives you 50 million naira in addition to what you have, you will mess it up, you won't be able to manage it. That's just the truth. You won't be able to manage it. So debt, partnership, whatever kind of financing you need, equity, debt financing, you should be able to have, like I said, financial discipline, have a goal, have a plan. Before you even start looking for more finances for your business, please have a plan. Have a plan. That's why when you want to get a loan from the bank, they will ask you for some of these things. People ask you what are your financials for the previous years. But they need to see what you have been able to make with the money you have, and if you will be able to pay back this loan. Please do your bookkeeping by yourself, at least at this level. I cannot overemphasize that. Do your bookkeeping by yourself. Do your accounting, at least the profit and loss account, at least the profit and loss account, every single month, at least. You can get more knowledge, and I also encourage you pay for knowledge in finance. And some of us run trainings for young CEOs to simplify all these things. And we try to tailor the process down to the kind of businesses you are doing. That's a major calling for my firm, VITA-W. We try to simplify these things, tailor it down to the kind of business. I cannot use the same method I'm using for a service-based business, and I'm using it for somebody who purchases goods or imports goods or buys from local suppliers. They are not the same, really the same process, but they will always have the same end goal and end result. So I don't know how many of us watch. There's a show I love so much, which is Lion Den. I don't know how Lion Den, right? You need to watch those shows regularly. Go to YouTube. They are on YouTube. Watch those shows. You see how young entrepreneurs have their figures in their head. Like you stand up and explain your business, talk about the finance. They'll ask you what you made last year, what you made last month. What is the operating expenses? What was your profit? What was your net profit? These are the things you need to have at the back of your head before you think about needing more money. Because somebody really wants to, no partner, whether it is a partner or debt, nobody really wants to put his money where he will put his money, no matter how rich the person is. If the person is the richest person in this world, he wants to get something. And you need to show that you know your numbers very well. You need to show that you know what you are doing. Because this is, if you don't have, if you mismanage the funds in your business, the business is gone. The business is gone. That's just the truth. The business is gone. No matter how good you are, if you mismanage your business, the business is gone. So once again, I also advise, always seek for professional advice. It doesn't cost. I registered the event because I needed to reach that out. I needed to make it cheaper and cheaper and cheaper for people to seek for financial advice. Especially young business owners, it's a way to make it as cheap as it can come, so that you'll be able to understand these basics and be able to progress. Thank you very much.